All right, so basically, I had a baby, and I've been on paternity leave for a little while. And from time to time in my lifting in life journey, I get a little sideways, and you get preoccupied and you get caught up. And to be honest, there's been a couple of times throughout my lifting career and dieting career where I thought I really figured it out, and then other times, like right now, where I feel totally lost and I just feel like absolutely nothing is working. And I've kind of found that in times like this, it feels really good to just choose something and devote yourself to it and trust that it's going to work. Now, I've only ever had one bodybuilding coach ever. It's my first coach. He passed away not long after, but I remember I got myself down to pretty low weight, and then he kind of helped me understand some bodybuilding principles, and pretty much been riding those coattails ever since. We're talking about 15 years ago now. Recently though, and I think psychologically this is what has always plagued me, is I came from a place of being very heavy. I'm 5'6", and at my peak weight, probably when I was about 17, 18 years old, I was 265 pounds. And now, I'm considerably less than that. However, being that heavy kind of skewed my views on, diet for sure. I mean, training, I'm always going to train in different ways, and I think if you push yourself hard enough, training kind of just figures itself out. But from a dieting perspective, whenever I would go on like these calorie calculators and things like that, I'd look at the number and I'd be like, dude, that's crazy, man. That's way too much food. But why do I feel like that? I think I've always just arbitrarily picked out like 1,700 calories and decided that was the number that it was going to take for me to lose weight, but maybe that's wrong. And coincidentally, when you're logging your food all the time and you go off your plan, let's say you cheat on your diet, if you will, you never log the cheat, right? Isn't that fun? You track everything else that you did up until 10:30 p.m. and then when you eat a bunch of ice cream and cookies and crap like that you shouldn't, you don't log that. So what I decided to do was download this app. It was developed by Dr. Lane Norton. That was a guy that me and my buddy Chris used to follow big time back in the day, back when there was bodybuilding.com forums. Anyway, he developed this app called Carbon. It's a diet app. It's a macro app. And more or less, I plugged in my numbers. I'm heavier than I like to be. I'm like I said, I'm 5'6", and I will put up some photos or some video of how I'm looking currently. But I weighed myself in today at 184 pounds, dude. That's big for me anyway. It's heavier than I like to be, and it's not that I don't feel good, because I feel fine. It's just, it's more weight than I like to carry, and for me mentally, I just like to be leaner. When I won Mr. York in 2019, I was 169 pounds. So we're talking about 15 pounds. Now, how much of that is muscle? How much of it is fat? Good deal of it's fat. Okay? Maybe I gained 1 or 2 or 3 pounds over that 4 years, but it certainly wasn't 15. And you can tell by looking at my belly. Ha. So anyway, the app has me at 2,400 calories to start, and basically I'm just going to follow it. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do it for the next month or so. I bought at least 1 month. And so I'm going to take a little hiatus from posting my workouts and my physique every single freaking day, because I do think it's driving me a little mental. And one of my main goals is to not be neurotic. And when that becomes my goal, it seems like I become exactly neurotic. So I'm going to more or less post this documentary style. So I'm still going to take clips of my workouts. I'm still going to take clips of my physique. And I'm going to just try to follow this really, really, really hard for the next month or so. And then I'll give you my take on it. I'm also going to sprinkle in some different type of, some cardios, some regimented cardios, not just sporadic. I kind of been doing just like rando sporadic cardios here and there. Same thing with training. I'm going to get on an actual plan that I can just, basically go on autopilot and not have to think about crap. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll check in with you with what my training and cardio plan is going to be, and I'll see you later. Bye. So one day after using Carbon, I followed the diet to a T. It was the first day that I was able to follow my calories and macros all the way pretty perfectly for like the first time in like months. So that was pretty cool. I mean, the calories are higher, so obviously compliance is easier when you can eat more. But it felt a lot easier. And this morning, one day later, I'm down a pound. I know it's not an actual pound. But yeah, we're going to continue to do this. As far as my training goes, I'm going to be running a bro split because I just feel totally unrecovered. Part of that is I have a newborn and there's like basically zero sleep going on, like waking up multiple times during the night. It's really difficult. And I was doing like a higher frequency program, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, with like a main focus on arms. But I just don't feel recovered. I feel like pretty much garbage at all times. It's probably because of the sleep and not the training, but I am switching to a bro split. And I'm going to be doing a Jay Cutler style approach where you're keeping the reps kind of in the high-ish range, but you're pyramiding the weight up, and then your final set is your heaviest set. The weight and the reps necessarily aren't dictated by the weight until the end. So for example, like say I'm going to do sets of 12, 4 to 5 sets of 12 on like a front squat today. I might start off 135 for 12, 175 for 12. Even though I can do 135 for a lot more, it's just kind of an old school style that I like and I'm going to use moving forward to try to get my recovery back to a point where it needs to be. Also, on the cardio side, I think I'm going to start doing regimented cardio. So basically, I think I'm going to start off with 17 minutes. 17 minutes incline treadmill. I'll probably be walking at around a 3 speed, 3.1, 3.2 speed, and probably like a 8 to 10 incline. And then each week I'm going to bump it up slightly. So that's pretty much the plan moving forward. Cool. See you later.
Absolutely, probably won. But with me there, and like, hey, with you there, with me there, with you there. Tony lied. I mean, he always lies. Lied to me, and I'm not happy about it. I didn't, I said, you said you didn't know. I said, water over the bridge, but I said, Wayne. I said, the way I said, the last minute, the way Bob gets out, probably
I'm actually driving out to wrestling practice right now, so I figured it would be a good time to give you my 1 week update on using the Carbon app. Now, initially, I just guessed on my weight. I said that I was 180. That very next morning, I weighed myself and I was 184. So I'm assuming that I wasn't 180, probably higher. So it kind of skewed my results for this first week of diet coaching. Anyhow, I had basically trend line down weigh-ins. My lowest weight was the other day, probably yesterday. It was 180.6, so that would be 3.4 pounds of weight loss in 1 week, and that was eating 2,400 calories per day. And I was very consistent with that. Literally everything that I was eating, I was monitoring, and I'm going to continue doing that because I think that it feels effective, and I also think that it was working. Also, the macros that it gave me, especially the fat number, was very high, which made dieting very easy because I'm used to dieting on much less than that. Probably over dieting, resulting in mini binges, and overeating, resulting in weight gain that I don't want. Anyhow, because I put in 180 for that first week, that first weigh-in, it made it look like I gained weight this week. So the app made a correction. Checked, and the macros for week 2 are 175 protein, 220 carbs, and 80 fats. Now, I'm hoping this week that my weight loss continues because it's been kind of pretty easy and I'm feeling good. I don't feel like I'm suffer dieting. I just feel good. I just feel like I'm eating kind of whatever I want. I mean, I eat clean, but I feel like I'm eating a lot and some not so in my normal diet foods, and it's just been kind of like really easy, especially like I said, because of the fat allotment. So anyway, I'm gonna hit that diet this week, and then I will check in with you for week 2. On a side note, I know that I said I was going to be doing cardio. I haven't done any. As I mentioned before, I have a newborn, and just the sleep schedule is kind of hitting me way harder than I could have ever imagined. And so just getting my workouts in are really tough. So anyway, the program that I'm running right now, it is a bro split. It's Jay Cutler's routine. He's a high volume guy. In the past, I've done high volume, but I think that I went about it the wrong way. My main focus in the gym kind of right now is to just get really big pumps and boost up the volume, staying in the 8 to 15 rep range, shooting for the higher side of that. To be perfectly honest, I feel way better when I keep my reps up higher. Subsequently, though, that means that the weights are not really that high, and in some cases people might think it's pathetic, but in all honesty, man, like, I'm in my 30s, bro, like, who cares? Anyway, it's a high volume program, 5 days a week. Your typical chest, back, shoulders, legs, and arms. So that you'll see those clips sprinkled in here, and then I'll check in with you for video number week 2.